I've been sick, so bear with me. My voice probably sounds really bad and weird and whatnot. Um, but hey, everybody gets sick, so deal with it. Also, it's kind of washed out. It's my husband's fault. He made me sick. He was sick, and then he kept saying he wasn't sick, so he kept kissing me, and I'm pretty sure that's how it happened. Anywho, um, so today I thought I would talk about my husband and I. Um, a friend and I yesterday were talking about her marriage, and we talked about some mutual people that we know, um, and their relationships, um, past relationships that we've had. We talked about relationships, um, and used ours and other people that we know to kind of talk about what's healthy and what's healthy and sorry, again, sick, excuse me, it's a little foggy. I'm doped up on a Dayquil, which I don't take very often, which is probably why I'm a little loopy. Because I don't take medicine unless I have to. Anyway, so, we're talking about what is healthy and what's not healthy, and what could be healthy depending on the relationship, the people involved, the context. So, Harry and I, my husband and I, we have a very unusual love story. So I'm going to tell that story today. So, we actually met on OkCupid. I'm not, OkCupid is not paying me for this. This is not a commercial or any kind of promotional video for them. However, I met a lot of great people on OkCupid. I met a lot of douchebags on OkCupid. And I happen to have met the love of my life on OkCupid. Um, when we met on OkCupid, his very first message to me was kind of insulting. It wasn't mean insulting. It was like funny. The way you would, kind of rag on a close friend. I said in my profile that I was a fan of something. I can't remember what I was a fan of, but I was a fan of something, and he's not a fan of it. We're both really big fans of Anita Blake. So he made fun. It was something vampire related because he made fun of me for liking one vampire book series or show or something. But then turned around and gave me geek cred for liking Anita Blake because apparently he doesn't know a lot of people who like Anita Blake. Neither do I. And I love the Anita Blake movies. Laurel K. Hamilton, if you're really into like vampire fiction, and you don't mind books that basically turn into softcore porn at some point, I highly recommend her books. Laurel K. Hamilton is an Anita Blake series. It's awesome. Anyway, and he didn't really expect me to message him back because apparently he had decided a long time ago to just be himself, and I had decided a long time ago to just be myself and not really fake it, because when you fake it on these dating websites, it never works out. People, are really impressed with who you are on paper, and then they meet you and you're not that person, and they're like, well, but you said you were really into X, Y, and Z, and now I see that you're not, and so I'm not really so deep. So anyway, that's the way that went. So he didn't really expect me to message him back because he has this really sarcastic but sharp wit. He makes fun of his. Oh, I was shaking my desk, which was shaking the computer. That's bad. Um, he. It's another side effect of medicine. Like, seriously, I don't take medicine unless I have to. Anyway, he has this, weird sense of humor. He has a very kind of biting sense of humor. I do too. We both make fun of our friends. We make fun of each other. And it's not because we don't like one another, and it's not because we don't like our friends. Obviously, we do. It's how we show affection. Um, we make really bad jokes. He'll yell at me to go make him a sandwich. And he doesn't really mean go make him a sandwich. He's laughing at the whole gender stereotypes, gender roles, the fact that as the wife, and because I am a housewife, a full-time student, but also a housewife at this stage of my life, that, that's my job. It doesn't really mean, go make me a sandwich. It's a joke. He says, go make me a sandwich. I say, fuck you with a sandwich. It's funny to us. It's weird. People who first meet us think that we hate each other, but we don't. It's a big joke. So he didn't think that I was going to respond, because who responds to an original message that makes fun of you? But I did. Wrote back, defended my fandom, talked about Anita Blake, went from there. It was great. It was great. Then we set up a date, and I didn't stand him up. I canceled because I was sick. I don't get sick often, but I got sick, and so I canceled. And then, I texted him and rescheduled, and we went on a date, and it was amazing. We went and shot pool, and I was in awe of him because he's extremely intelligent. We can have these in-depth conversations about science, politics. I told you I'm sick. Don't blame me. Don't judge me for being ill. Politics, religion, music, art, all of these things that I'm really passionate about. All of these things I'm really interested in. But he could also, he's intelligent, but he can take a joke. He's refined, but he drinks beer sometimes. He can go from an intellectual conversation about, politics or religion or science, or technology, the state of the world. We can go from talking about that to having a completely not important argument about who's better, Batman or Iron Man, which is an ongoing debate that we've had for our entire relationship. I say that Batman is nothing. Batman is not even, shouldn't even be a hero. I get a lot of flack for that. It's fine. It's my opinion. I stick to it. So anyway, from there, we went on a few more dates. We went to a bar one night. And just sat and drank. Had a few drinks and just talked. We sat at my place and watched movies. We went bowling. It was fun. But then one of my exes contacted me. And my ex said he wanted to get back together. And I kind of felt like I owed him something. And I don't know why I felt like I owed him something. I think it's because at that time, my self-esteem hadn't really recovered from being in that abusive relationship with my ex-wife. That, and then, I moved to Virginia, and I thought that things were going to work out with my childhood friend, and then that kind of blew up. People change, and I had put him in a box. I wanted to believe that he was still the same person that he was in high school, but he wasn't. He's a completely different person now, and not one that I particularly like. So, and then I had a series of just bad dates, where it was just bad. So then this ex contacted me, and I felt like I owed him something. So I moved to Florida to give him a chance. And had this awesome road trip with a friend of mine who I love to death, who also happens to be an ex of mine. So I had this awesome road trip with her and her boyfriend, and it was great. And I got down there, and I wasn't even down there a month. I think I had been down there a week, maybe a week and a half, when I realized that he had lied to me. He did, was not going to school. He did not have a job. These are the things that he told me he was doing in Florida. Um, he was basically living off the money that he could make from parting up his car. He went down there with a substantial amount of money from the army, and he wasted it all on this car that he overpaid for, and it was a piece of shit. And he claimed to know all about cars, but he really didn't. He grossly overpaid for this car. It was in horrific condition. So he ended up parting it out to make ends meet. He wasn't looking for a job. He did not have a driver's license. He did not have access to his birth certificate. He did not have access to his social security card. Getting all of that together it's a process. It's a long process that you kind of have to go through when you have no paperwork. He had an expired ID from the military. That was it. He had let his driver's license expire, so it was no longer a valid, way to identify himself. He had lost his birth certificate and his social security card, and it was a disaster. We tried to talk him through, how to get access to his papers again, and it was a disaster. Let's just leave it at that. It was a disaster. And then, on top of all that, I found out that he was cheating on me. He had been cheating on me since before I even came to Florida. When we started talking again, and he said that he wanted, to try again, would I come to Florida? At the same time, he was having sex with a few other girls. I found out about that when I got there. He had roommates. He didn't tell his roommates I was coming. He got kicked out. We had to find a place to live. The new place that we found to live was actually pretty amazing because I made friends with the couple that was renting out the property, which was awesome. They're awesome people. I'm still friends with them. I talk to them on Facebook every once in a while. But they're great. They're great people. They probably saved my life because he ended up hitting me. When he hit me, something in me just snapped. It didn't snap in an angry way. It kind of just mentally something snapped for me. After everything I had gone through with Kelly, I was not going to let it happen again. There was no way in hell anyone was ever going to physically hurt me like that again. And it snapped in place for me. Before I left for Florida, here he came over to my house and he gave me this ring. And he said that, he wanted me to bring it back to him. He didn't think that things would work. He hoped for me that I was happy. All he wanted for me was to be happy. He didn't think that I would be happy this way. But he hoped that I would be. That's all that he wanted. But he wanted me to know that over the course of our conversations online and in our several dates, he had fallen for me. And he wasn't going to wait for me because he wasn't that kind of guy. He had more self-respect than that. But he wanted me to know how he felt. And that I had another option. And please don't go. And I went anyway. But I kept the ring. So after I get down there and everything blows up with the no job, no school, completely irresponsible behavior that was going on, with all that, I ended up contacting Harry. And we had already been in contact. We had decided to just stay friends anyway. We had so much in common. We had, he had recommended this book, Ready Player One, and I didn't have the book, but I was listening to it on an audio version of it. while I was in Florida, and it's an amazing book. And you know, the fact that he would recommend it just kind of showed me that he knew my interest, that I would love that book. So we were already in contact, but I contacted him and just let him know that one way or another I was coming back to Tennessee. And I didn't care what I had to do it. Come back to Tennessee. I was not going to put up with this. He hit me. I had him arrested. Our roommate said that he isn't going to come back to the house unless I allow him in, which I did because I felt bad for him because I was still kind of fucked up in my head. Anyway. So Harry comes down. He drives for basically 24 hours straight to pick me up. Drove all the way down there, picked me up. I tried to help him drive back. I did a little bit, but not really a lot. I was such a wreck that I couldn't function enough to drive. So when we got back here, he got this apartment for us. And it was a 2-bedroom so that I wouldn't feel pressured, you know, to be with him. He was like, we can be just friends. It's fine. You're my friend, and our friendship comes first. I want you to be safe. I want you to be happy. I want you to be healthy. And so whatever I can do to help you with that. It was amazing. And that's actually how we got together, is I left him. We went on a few dates, and then I left him to give another chance. And at first I was really ashamed of that story because I thought that it made me look as though I was a bad person, as though he deserved better than me. But over the course of these last close to 3 years, he's shown me that that's not the case. I deserve happiness. I deserve, damn, medication makes you drowsy. I deserve to be happy. And I am. And we have this amazing relationship. We don't ever fight. We just don't fight. We talk. If I do something that upsets him, or if he does something that upsets me, we just say, hey, you did this and it upset me, and let's find a compromise. And that's what we always do. There's never yelling, fighting, screaming, throwing things, which is what I was so used to. It's amazing. And I want that for everyone else. And I think that I have a hard time accepting it when my friends have less than that. I just want everybody to be happy. But anyway, I'm going to go take a nap because, like I said, I am sick. I will be uploading this on Monday. I'm doing this today because it's New Year's Eve and I'm not doing anything right now. But tonight, if I feel better, there might be some wine involved, and I don't really need to go on camera when I've had a glass or two of wine. And then tomorrow is New Year's Day, so I'll be doing things with my husband since he's off work. So yeah, I didn't think I'd really have much time to do this before Monday hit. So that's that. I don't know how to end these. Oh God, I really need to take a nap. I never know how to end these, so I'm just gonna go. Gonna go cuddle some puppies and take a nap, and hopefully I will feel better when I wake up. And yeah, that's it. So later.